We're going to talk about today, I think, if you want to win your goals with a championship mentality, it really is centered on this, your ability to give and receive great feedback. So the number one mistake that many people, and I'm still correcting CEOs, CFOs, C-suite executives on this, which is crazy, I'm still correcting them on this, is that they will say, I'm going to give you some constructive criticism. What? Who wants to get criticized? Nobody. Or they're going to say, I'm going to give you some positive, negative feedback. Some what? Like negative. Oh, please put me in line. I want to, please do that. So here's the key. You've got to get rid of those words that will tell people that it's negative. Criticism, no, throw it away. Negative, throw it away. You're going to give them constructive feedback. You're going to give them supportive feedback. You're going to offer them coaching tips. This is important. Like, you don't want to use those words. You got to get them out of your, and I still hear people say them. I still read it in books. I'm like, stop it. So the first thing is to reword what you're giving. And then you have to teach people. This is the next essential thing. People do not know the difference between criticism and coaching. They do not know the difference. So you have to teach them. This is the role of a great leader, by the way. A great leader is a great teacher. This is the role. So here's what I did with my players, and I learned this early, is that I would coach my players up, and they're like, Coach Winn just yells at us all the time. All she does is she's so mean. I was like, what? I don't think I'm mean all the time, and I don't think I'm really mean. Now, there were a couple of times that maybe I might have got a little mean. But anyway, so here's what I did. I'd start the season, and we did it every year. I'd start the season like this. Ladies, you're so lucky to be a part of this program because we do not believe in criticism here. They're like, oh, yay, coach is going to be so nice. But I say, look, criticism is demeaning, demoralizing, and destructive. And it's true. It's true. Criticism is demeaning, demoralizing, and destructive. We're not going to do that here. And you can say that. I think you can say that with integrity because it's never your intention to do those things. This is not your intention. So tell them clearly, it's not our intention to be demeaning, demoralizing, or destructive. It's not our intention. What we're going to do here, and before I tell you this, I want to ask you a question, folks. I want to ask you a question. How many of you want to be successful? Now, everybody should be raising their hand, right? Like my players, because they look at me and they're like, you're the coach. They're like, yes, I want to be successful. Great. How many of you want to take the long road to success? And they go, oh, no. How many of you want to take the shortcut? Ooh, shortcut, me, shortcut. So you're saying to them, look, if you want to be successful and you want to take the shortcut, here's what you have to do. You have to receive the things we're going to give you. Now, we're going to be giving you gifts all year long. Some of you will never open the gifts that we give you. Some of you will open up the gift. Partly you're going to use half of it. But those of you who want to take the shortcut to success, those of you who want to be uber successful, what you're going to do is you're going to open these gifts and use them. And these gifts are called coaching tips. So folks, what we just did is we distinguished what criticism was and what coaching was. And we help people learn the difference because people do not know the difference. And what they hear, even if you're very careful, even if you're giving the great coaching, and remember, if it's not a gift, you're not coaching them. That's not good constructive feedback if it's not a gift. So when you're later on, you teach them this, they understand. Criticism's over here, we don't do it. Coaching's over here, we do it. You give them that thing and you teach them that. And then what you do is you're giving them feedback, you're giving them constructive feedback, and you're giving them your coaching tips, and they get like defensive. They're like, well, you know how they get. You say, hey, wait a second. I just want to remind you, this is a gift. I want to remind you the only reason I'm speaking to you right now, the only reason I'm giving this to you is because I care about your success. And some people go, why do you care about my success? And you'd say, look, 2 reasons. Number 1, I care about you. I care about you. I want to see you successful. And number 2, your success is my success. If you're not successful, I'm not going to be successful. So here's another mistake that people make with this, and I see this all the time, the Oreo cookie method or the sandwich method. And I'll say to people, what is that method? They'll go, well, you give them the good, then you give them the bad, and then you give them the good. And I'm thinking, holy Hannah, who wants to eat an Oreo cookie that's bad? Like, you're not going to eat it. Who wants to eat this? Like, no. It's not good, bad, good. It's good, the gift, and more good. When you think, if you're coaching people and you're helping them become really successful, when you think it's bad, when you believe it's bad, and it's going to reflect out of the way you say it. You can't eliminate that tone when you think it's bad. So look, the only way for people to get better is through coaching. And that means even you, if you're the CEO, if you're the CFO, even you, the only way is for you to accept that coaching, right? So learn to understand how to give it. And what happened to my teams is really, as I learned how important this was, is what happened is we had to teach them the difference and remind them the difference. And then something else we used, which was really critical, is I read this from a book. I'm an avid reader, reading all the time. I read this from a book from Pat Summitt, she was a legendary coach here. And what she did is she would hear her players complain, like my players did. Coach Winn never gives us anything good, blah, blah, blah. She heard this and she goes, oh my gosh, they're not hearing the positives. So what she made them do, and I thought this was brilliant, brilliant. When you give somebody a compliment, they have to reply with 2 points. Now, I wouldn't say to use that in your organizations because it makes no sense. But if I was Nike, I'd have people say, just do it. I've coached another company and they from Oregon, and they use the word shout out. So if I give you a compliment, you reply, you affirm it because that means you hear it. So many people let compliments just go, they don't hear them, but if they affirm it, like they go, just do it, or shout out, they're affirming they heard it. This is important because people don't hear it. And then you have a word for them when you give them the coaching that they know. The word could be lean in, next step. It could be whatever it is. You give them the word for them to move forward. So remember, if you want your people to have a championship mentality, they need to learn the difference between criticism and coaching. And you need to know the difference between criticism and coaching.